Yes, people, welcome back to the channel. This is the Manchester United versus Brighton preview, and it is the only other competition that United is still in. And whenever an FA Cup starts or any cup competition starts, and if you're a Manchester United fan, you should always have that little bit of tribal delusion where you're thinking, could we have a nice little cup run? Any fan base enjoys one. It's an opportunity to win a trophy. It's an opportunity to win silverware. You even have the added caveat of European football if you do win it. And United have won this competition very recently. It's one with a lot of heritage. It's one that's got a lot of cachet about it. So, listen, I think if United are able to go on a little bit of a bounce, we get Mbu and Ahmad back, we bypass Brighton, and who knows? Because I'm still a big believer that United can beat anyone in English football on their day. And that's when it matters. It's about who turns up on the day. That's the beauty of knockout competition. But it's not going to be easy. We are playing a very inconsistent Brighton side. It's a Brighton team that we've struggled against for quite a few years. We beat them earlier in the season, but it's going to be difficult to do it again. And they're actually unbeaten in the last 3 games. They're sitting about mid-table. They have become a little bit of a purgatory football club where they're not quite ascended into the elites, but they don't ever have any types of concerns of being relegated. But I said United are very capable on their day. We know Brighton are as well. And they've got a manager who has had outside links to the permanent managerial role, because as you've seen, Manchester United, obviously it's going to be Darren Fletcher's second game. Ruben Amorim's no longer the manager. And Fletcher's coming off a 2-2 draw away at Turf Moor against a Burnley side that haven't won in 11 games. But the response to that match was very mixed, because it was different structurally, formations, patterns, our defensive ability as well, because I think it was the second least XG we've conceded all season, and the only other time that we conceded less was against Everton at home when they had 10 men for 80 minutes. We created 10 times the amount of chances. I feel like we were a little bit ponderous though to start the game. I think there was a lack of intensity. I don't know if the team was still shell-shocked with what happened earlier in the week. But there were some positive foundations to build on. And there were parts of the performance that I actually liked. I thought it looked more fundamentally Manchester United. I think the basics were there as well. And I saw tweaks in the second half. Fletcher's obviously shown himself to be a capable manager. He's obviously not going to be here long term. So all it's about right now is settling the ship, bringing back a feel-good factor into the squad, make sure everyone's pulling in the right direction, instill confidence in the players and platform them in positions that they feel like they can perform in and they feel best placed to play in. And that's something that we've had constant dialogue about for over a year. That's a great starting point. United aren't going to be great overnight. There's still massive holes in the squad. That was the case under the previous manager as well. But all that we can do now and all we can seek to be done, whether it be until obviously the end of the season, whether it be Fletcher, Carrick or Ollie, is United to turn up, not look like a structural mess, play with intensity, but also play with that freedom and expression that I did see remnants of against Burnley. And I don't think the fans will complain too much. Obviously, results have to come, and I think they will do, especially when United get all their personnel back. Because when you actually look at United 1-20, when everyone's available, and you look at the possible first 16, there's a lot about Manchester United's squad that's as good as there really is for the rest of the league. Definitely competent enough to go on a cup run, but also to finish in the top 6 places. And that wasn't something that I would have predicted to start the season, but that's something that I'm predicting now when I've looked at the personnel groups of the teams and I've seen the inconsistencies that are affecting everyone across the league and how competitive it is. Because United have dropped points in 3 straight games. Burnley, Leeds and Wolves. If I told you before those 3 we'd have 3 draws coming out of that, you'd be extremely upset. And me looking at results from that standpoint, I'm disappointed. And we have been a mess. And but Brighton's going to be a litmus test, followed by Manchester City and Arsenal. So we haven't got time to feel sorry for ourselves. That's team sport, seasonal sport. You've got to move on to the next game. We've got to take. I think we have to. I know I'm kind of projecting forward, but I feel like we've got to take each game as it comes. And this is going to be a very difficult one because we know what Brighton are about. Extremely good football inside, very expansive. They play a high line as well, which might suit us if United are very capable in possession. But I think if United turn up and play similarly to the way they did at Burnley, I mean in the second half, I think we could definitely get a result and beat them. Which would obviously just be copying what we did earlier in the season, which I actually thought was one of our better performances under Amorim, Brighton at home. But United are inconsistent and we know that. So it's about whether we can follow it up. But interestingly, I'm going to tell you what my starting line or my predicted starting lineup is for this team. And I've gone for a gamble once again. And I felt like the cameo and what I kind of delineated when I saw the game against Burnley and what I thought was needed. I think this might be worth a try, especially at home, with the support, wanting to be entertained, and that's what United should be about. So the starting lineup I've gone with is Lemens in goal. I've gone for the low right back, and I've gone for a centre-half pairing of Aiden Heben and Lenny Yoro. I'm going for Dorgu left back. I've gone for a midfield pivot of Mainu and Ugarte. I'm going for Bruno in the 10. I'm going for Cunha on the left, Sesko up front, and once again, I want Shea Lacey to start right wing. Cup competition, I thought he looked definitely ready. He had a spark about him. He had a bravery about him as well. I think he's had like 3 shots in about 10 minutes of professional football. And he's got ball striking on deck. He looks like someone that's capable of the spectacular and isn't afraid of the moment. And as I said in the last game when I said that I would have started him at Turf Moor, it's an attacking option and it also provides balance on that side with a left footer. And if 45 minutes, 55 minutes he's struggling, it's not working, you can always change it. But I've said it time and time again, youth, courage and success. And if he curled that in the top corner when he almost won the game for United, everything and everyone that has said that would have been vindicated. But I feel like give him a go. 100%. I think he's someone that excites me, someone that's been highly rated for about 18 months. I think he would have been transitioned into the first team football long before he actually did, if it hadn't been for the injuries that he's faced. Obviously he needs to improve physically and he'll kind of grow into himself a little bit, but the quality and ability is there for everyone to see. So I'd definitely start him. And I've gone, I think, Mainu to start from the beginning. I thought Casemiro was awful last game against Burnley. I think he was a big reason why we dropped points. And I've dropped Martinez as well, who I thought was extremely poor. And I thought his body language was strangely very bad as well. And I think Cunha also needs to pull his socks up. I think his ability and his match-winning, game-breaking ability is too much for me to take him out of the team, especially when Ahmad and Mbeumo aren't available. But I feel like if they were and Mason Mount was a bit more fit, there might come a chance where I'm looking at it thinking Cunha might have to be on the bench for a couple matches. But as for starting lineups go, that's what I've gone for, and I think there's a lot of expansive attacking ability in there. I've gone for Dorgu left back instead of Shaw. I think Shaw's played a lot of football. He's got injury issues, and I think Dorgu's played so well in recent games, I'd actually be tempted to start him left wing with Cunha on the left who goes inside, and that gives Dorgu the licence to be bombing down the left wing, coming onto the ball, running forward, which I think makes a massive difference for him when he receives the ball with momentum, rather than at a standstill 1v1 as a left wing back. And I think that could be a tandem that maybe work if Cunha turns up. And obviously Sesko, again, I thought Ugarte has been really solid the last few games, so it's unfair to take him out. Obviously he offers a little bit of legs and intensity. He's not perfect, still think he's a very average footballer. But I think Casemiro, another one who we can bring on later in the game, and his legs are giving out on him a little bit. So I think he's another one that needs his minutes managed, especially with Arsenal and City in the horizon. So that's the team I've gone for, and I think that's a good enough team to win it. Obviously, I've gone for a young centre-half duo as well, Lenioro. I thought Lenioro, even in his cameo against Burnley, looked so much more comfortable in the back two. On the right side, centre-half, for Aiden Evans been good. And I know there's a ball playing drop-off maybe slightly between Martinez and Aiden Evans. And Brighton are one of the highest pressing teams in the league, but I think Aiden Evans and his centre midfield history, I think he's decent enough on the ball himself. And there's a lot more physicality between them two, because I think Martinez sometimes, especially if he's up against a Welbeck or a Rutter, he might struggle. But I think that's a good enough starting 11 to win. I actually am expecting us to get a result. Could it go to penalties? Who knows? But it's just about getting through to the next round. I don't want United to be out of both competitions domestically at the first hurdle. I'd like a cup run, especially FA Cup that doesn't really interfere midweek too much as well. And it's a chance for some silverware and some feel good. But anyway, let me know what you think. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, hit the hype button as well, and I will see you for the review on Sunday after the Brighton game. I will be on a watch along, so you can catch me downstairs as well, and I'll be back here to do my review after the game. See you later.